So for everyone that's here, welcome to our session. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, where you are, we're excited to have you here. We're going to dive into the essentials of TC membership and give you a rundown of everything you need to know to make the most of your membership. Our aim is to equip you with all of the knowledge, tools, and resources you need to engage fully with our community. So let's get started. With that, I'm going to pass it to Margie DeFord, our Senior Stakeholder Experience Manager, to give some bios for the people that will be speaking today.
Thank you, Sky. As Sky mentioned, my name is Margie DeFord. I'm the Stakeholder Engagement Manager for UL Standards Engagement, and I will be your host today. We also have 3 team members available to answer questions. Anne-Marie Jacobs is a Senior Standards Project Manager for our Appliance, HVAC, and Lighting program. And Susan Malone, Lead Standards Project Manager, who works in our electrification program. And finally, we have Grace Rowe, Senior International Standards Project Manager, who works with our international team. And behind the scenes, we have Sky and Corinne, part of our stakeholder engagement team, helping out today. At any time during the webinar, please do feel free to post questions in the chat, and our team will do our best to answer them. We will have time at the end of the webinar to answer additional questions. Brief review of the agenda today. We're going to talk a little bit about why standards matter, a little bit of background on our organization, information on technical committees, tools and supports that we offer, and again, we will have time for questions at the end. It's important for us to take time to share work that highlights the positive impact our committee members have on people's everyday lives. The work of our committees make a real difference. This is a quote from Trista Hansmith, a parent and a member of our UL 4200A Technical Committee. Trista states, "We are thankful 4200A will better protect our most vulnerable from button battery ingestion. Since the death of Reese, we have worked tirelessly for something like this." So let's talk a few minutes about the development of UL Standard 4200A and the impact that it continues to have. In October of 2020, a tragic incident happened when Reese Hamsmith, a 17-month-old baby girl, accidentally swallowed a button battery, which burned a hole in her esophagus. Despite undergoing various surgeries and a prolonged hospitalization, Reese lost her life in December of that same year. The laws at that time did not provide adequate protection against button batteries. However, Reese's mom wanted to make a difference. She founded Reese's Purpose, a nonprofit founded to identify, advocate, and correct safety issues impacting children and their families. After extensive efforts, in August of 2022, Reese's Law was enacted by the President, requiring batteries to be sold or packaged individually to meet the PPPA requirements. The purpose of this groundbreaking regulation is to eliminate or reduce the risk of injury from ingestion of battery cell or coin batteries by children 6 years of age and younger. But there was still work to do, so Trista joined the Technical Committee for Button Cell Batteries. The Technical Committee worked tirelessly to publish the standard in February of 2023, knowing that it would protect people of all ages from the harmful effects of battery ingestion. As a safety standard, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission adopted ANSI UL 4200A-2023 for products incorporating button batteries or coin cell batteries, which includes performance and labeling requirements. Reese's Law went into effect March 19, 2024 for the labeling requirements for those button cell batteries. And in September of this year, the coin battery packaging requirement will also be put into effect. Standards saves lives. Standards really do matter. Technical committees play an important role in making and keeping our world safe. from button batteries, as we just talked through, to carbon monoxide alarms, to virtual reality equipment and autonomous vehicles, technical committees are central to the process of developing and maintaining standards. Thank you to those of you who have served on past committees and to those of you who are new and have just joined your first committee. Your efforts really do matter. Brief history lesson about Underwriters Laboratories. We were founded in 1894 with the original mission to promote safe living and working environments for all people. In 1903, UL published its first safety standard titled Tin-Clad Fire Doors. The doors were primarily used in public spaces such as warehouses, schools, and hospitals. Since that first standard, we have published over 1,600 additional standards. Fast forward ahead to June of 2022, when we revealed new brands for our 3 distinct organizations: UL Research Institutes, UL Standards and Engagement, and UL Solutions. The brands reflect and clarify the unique role that each organization plays in working for a safer world. UL Research Institute is a nonprofit research organization that is dedicated to advancing the Underwriters Laboratories public safety mission through scientific discovery and application. UL Solution delivers testing, inspection, and certification services. And UL Standards and Engagement, our organization, is a nonprofit standards development and advocacy organization that translates scientific data into practical, action-oriented safety standards. And this is where you come in. As that organization, we rely on members like you to develop standards that help guide the safety, performance, and sustainability of new and evolving products, technologies, and services. You're helping to make the world a safer place. Just a few numbers to share. We have over 400 technical committees with over 4,300 members who are located in over 40 countries. Just some more additional numbers. In 2023, the views of our standards through our free view access tool reached over 133,000. Also in 2023, over 17,000 of our standards were sold worldwide. So now let's focus on what it means to be a technical committee member. What is a technical committee? Well, a technical committee is a group of individuals who represent a variety of industries and backgrounds, formed to provide input on new or revised standards that ensure continued consumer safety, regulatory compliance, and market access. The purpose of these committees is to review the need for new standards or the updating of existing standards, to develop the full text of the standard. The committee is responsible for reviewing requests for changes or updates to the current standards, and it is responsible for the interpretation of the requirements of specific standards. So what are the roles that make up a technical committee? This diagram shows that typical participants in a TC or technical committee. In addition to the members, UL Standards and Engagement provides 2 members for each technical committee, the chair and the project manager. We will now walk through the roles and responsibilities for each of these participants. The TC chairperson is UL Standards and Engagement employee and is responsible for leading the technical committee, for determining who will become members, and leading the committee in an effective, efficient, and timely manner. Normally, the chair does not have any voting privileges on changes to the standard, but there are occasions where the TC chair is not a member of UL Standards and Engagement. Therefore, he or she would have voting rights in that situation. This is extremely rare and only impacts 1 or 2 of our committees. The project manager is an employee of UL Standards and Engagement and works as the secretary of the technical committee and is the person who works closely with the TC chair and other TC members to process standards proposals, publish documents, maintain the membership roster, and issue correspondence to the TC members. The project manager is really the heart and soul of the technical committee, always ready to be there for TC members whenever they have questions or need assistance. They're dedicated to providing valuable support and guidance to ensure that the committee can achieve its goals. The TC project manager is also a non-voting member of the technical committee. So let's take a minute to review the different categories of the members of this technical committee. These members work together in a consensus-based process to produce effective, relevant standards. Producer. So a producer is a representative of a company that is engaged in the manufacture of products, installation of a product, and or servicing of a product system covered by that standard. Supply chain are members of a product supply chain that can include component producers, installers, distributors, or retailers. Commercial industrial user is a member of an organization who uses the product, system, or service in a commercial or industrial setting. HJ or regulator. Authorities having jurisdiction or regulators are those involved in the regulation and enforcement of code or standard requirements at a regional or local level. Government participants may include representatives from national government agencies. Testing and standards participants may include organizations that test and or certify products or services, or organizations that develop standards or codes related to products, service, or systems covered by those standards. Consumers could include individuals who belong to consumer organizations, consumer departments, or even home economic departments at universities. They may also be professional consumers or individuals who use the product or service as part of their livelihood. Lastly, we have the general category. A general category can include consultants, members of academia, scientists, special experts, representatives of NGOs or non-governmental organizations, and other individuals that aren't covered by the previous categories. So important to note that there can only be one representative from each organization on a committee. This means that only one member of the organization can be a rostered or voting member, while the others can still participate as stakeholders. Also at ULSE, we aim to maintain a balanced representation of interest by ensuring that no single interest category constitutes more than 1/3 of the TC membership. Due to this balance constraint, membership may be limited, and it is important to note that while we strive to have representation from all of the interest categories, it is not mandatory. Okay, already time for an activity break. We thought we would break up the monotony of the talk and ask everybody to participate in a quick activity. So please do type your answers to the next couple of questions in the chat. The question, which of the following TC member types are not eligible to vote? And bonus points for why. Give you just a few seconds. We know you know the answers. Okay, well, if you answered TC Chair or TC Project Manager, you are correct. For our next question, which of the following is not a primary purpose of a technical committee? A, reviewing the need for new standards or updating of existing standards. B, developing the full text of the standards. C, considering requests for revisions or amendments to existing standards. D, identifying industry-specific requirements in existing standards. Or E, interpreting the requirements of specific standards. Again, the question, which of the following is not a primary purpose of a technical committee? Give you just a few more seconds. For those of you who answered D, that is the correct answer. When you apply to become a technical committee member, there are certain expectations that come along with the position. Let's talk through those. Attending meetings will help to ensure a mutual understanding of topics under discussion, as well as provide an efficient means to discuss those topics. It also provides networking opportunities. We expect collaboration from all of our members, as well as a respectful exchange of ideas and a mutual appreciation of perspectives. And of course, we expect you to vote when it comes to balloting. Please note that there are 3 options for voting: yes, no, and abstain. An abstention is still a vote. Additionally, you may be provided with the opportunity to participate in a task group. So what is the role of a task group member? So a task group is an ad hoc group appointed by the TC chair to address a specific topic or issue within the standard. The group is disbanded after the specified task has been completed. No balance requirements with interest categories are necessary for a task group. So, and also TC members are not required to participate in a task group, but it is a great opportunity. And meetings for the task groups are normally held by a web or conference call. Standards development process. So if you don't have a drink, you might want to get one. This is our most detailed slide of the day. A lot of information to cover, very important information. The first step in the standards development process, you can see here we're going to talk through 5 different steps. The first step is the proposal submission. So proposal requests are known as PRs in the standards lingo. They're submitted by anyone in the world at any time, but they must be submitted through our CSDS, which is our collaboration tool. A PR will typically include the person's name, their affiliation, the standard and clause the submitter is referencing, the revisions they want to make to the standard in legislative formatting, and the reason or rationale behind their proposal. The next stage is the preliminary review. Preliminary review stage is an optional stage that happens before ballot to determine or gauge the level of support for a proposal from the TC or to sort out competing proposals. This stage only provides the ability for TC members and stakeholders to comment. There is no voting done during this stage. Typically, the preliminary review stage lasts a minimum of 14 days, but can be any length. They usually range anywhere between 14 and 30 days. The next stop on the proposal journey is balloting and commenting. During balloting and commenting, the proposal is circulated to the TC and stakeholders for review and approval by means of comments and votes. Ballot periods range depending on the type of proposal, but they can be 30 days, 45 days, or 60 days. For anything to be published, the voting has to lead to consensus. The consensus requirements vary slightly between the United States and Canada. For the US, you need to make sure that you have more than 50% of the members who can vote have voted and that 2/3 of those votes are in the affirmative. For Canada, more than 50% of the members who can vote have to have affirmative votes. Of those votes that are cast, 2/3 of the votes have to be affirmative. Canadian requirements for consensus are a little bit more strict. Please know you will not be quizzed on that math. The next step that may occur, and I stress may occur, is recirculation. Recirculation happens when there are negative votes or comments submitted during the ballot stage. The purpose of recirculation is to provide the technical committee with the ability to review those comments received during ballot, review the responses to those comments, review the additional proposed changes as a result of those comments, and they had the ability to change their vote. During the recirculation period and in light of the proposed dispositions or actions, TC members may wish to comment and/or change their vote. The TC member's original ballot vote will be maintained unless the TC member changes it during recirculation. The final step in our standards development process is publication. When consensus is reached and maintained through ballot and recirculation, the proposals can be published and then made publicly available as the latest version of the standard. So I know that was a lot of information. Please feel free at any time again to throw questions in the chat. And again, you always have the opportunity to reach out to your project manager for more detailed information on your particular technical committee. Tools. Okay, let's talk about some tools that we have available that you may need in your role as a technical committee member. We work to continually update our technology and tools to deliver the best experience that we can for our members. So you can discover the latest published and upcoming standards on shopulstandards.com. You can access any of our publications for free with our free view tool. And on this site, you can also subscribe to be notified of updates to any standard that we publish. My Info portal is where you go to apply to new committees and update contact information. As our main means of contact with committee members is through email, it is of the utmost importance to keep your contact information up to date. This also includes job changes or if email domains change at your company. Our collaboration tool is called CSDS, as mentioned previously, and it is where our members spend most of their time. You can use this tool to submit proposals, comment on those proposals, vote, and find meeting information, along with many other tasks. Although we won't go into too many details today about CSDS, please note that there's a dedicated e-learning module available for this tool that we'll talk about in a few minutes. Additionally, if you require more information or would like a webinar that focuses completely on CSDS, we're happy to do that. Please, again, post it in the chat and we're going to be reading through all of those suggestions when we're planning our next webinar. Your contributions are vital in developing relevant and impactful standards. And as some of you may already know, not all of our committees are active at all times. Therefore, we encourage you to take your involvement with our technical committees to the very next level and expand your impact by joining other committees. As you can see by this list, we will work across many industries, covering everything from e-bikes to fire extinguishers, electric fences, life jackets. So consider exploring new areas beyond your current industry and taking on additional roles to gain valuable insight and provide an opportunity for you to contribute. Over half of our members are on more than one committee, and we hope you feel inspired to do the same. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to help you find the right committee to join. Our dedicated team of technical committee chairs and project managers, supported by our specialized resources, are committed to equipping you with all the essential skills to effectively engage with our process and have a fulfilling experience. We are devoted to working closely with you to empower you every step of the way and enable your success. So let's talk a bit about one of those supports, the Learn site. So within the first month of membership, your project manager sent a series of letters that were distributed with links and information to get you started. Those communications included information on our Learn site, which currently has 7 e-learning modules available on demand at any time that provide support. These interactive modules cover our organization, the standards development process, a very fantastic e-learning module on CSDS. There's a module on the other standards tools that we offer, one on helpful information that has a lot of great FAQs in it, And our most recent additions were 2 e-learning modules, one on regional harmonization and another one on international harmonization. We are currently looking to expand our curriculum, so if there's any topics that you feel we need to provide additional support or information on, please do let us know. Our Learn platform offers a modular breakdown of topic areas, which allow users to access specific topics quickly. As you can see by the graphic, each module is organized in a logical and intuitive manner, making it easy for you to navigate and find just what you need. These modules are periodically updated to reflect any changes in our tools or processes, ensuring that users have access to the most up-to-date information and resources. Additionally, we take great care to ensure that the modules are user-friendly and easy to understand, so even those new to our platform can quickly get up to speed and start using our tools effectively. We plan to host new member webinars quarterly or as needed, but as I mentioned a bit ago, we're also looking for your input on what specific topics you're interested in learning more about or want a deeper dive on. Do you want more training on the overall process? Specific training on CSDS. Maybe you want to learn more specifics around how to submit a proposal, or if there's a burning industry or standards topic that you're interested in and would love to hear more about, we'd love to hear what those topics are. So please pop your topic ideas into the chat or email us anytime at stakeholdersupport@ul.org. As a new member, you should have received a new member certificate and PIN when you joined your first committee. If you did not receive them, please let us know and we're happy to resend for you. Additionally, we launched a few other programs to show our appreciation for your commitment. Please keep an eye on your email and follow us on LinkedIn to stay updated. We value your feedback and encourage you to share it with us at any time via email or through our Voice of the Stakeholder program. So if you do get an opportunity to take a survey via one of our sites or email, we highly encourage you to do so. We truly do read every comment that we receive. Time to re-engage. Okay, so again, it would be great if you could put your answers in the chat to the question. This is more of a discussion topic, but within Learn, which stakeholder training interested you most? Or which one did you learn the most from? Okay, so we'll be reading through these answers as a means of updating or building or expanding on our e-learning modules. Standards development process, CSDS, great. Oh, this one is standards development and CSDS, fantastic. So I feel like we could actually offer a webinar specifically on the process, where we can really dive deep into special situations. Great, this is great. Thank you so much for entering your answer. This one, the second activity stems from the first one we just discussed. Is obviously you have taken one or more of the online learning modules. Just wanted to know your feedback on the experience. If you learned something new, did anything stand out, or you feel anything is missing? We would love to hear it again. We really do want to provide the best support that we can for members, so we're happy to take feedback at any time. Looks like we are almost at the end of our time. So we do have time for questions. So if you could type them in the chat, we can read them and have some of our subject matter experts answer.
We do have some questions. Do you want me to just read the question out loud as I scroll through?
Sure.
Okay, so this was one of the first questions that we received, and it says, how is the UL standards process different from ASTM? I have been engaged with this standards body for many years, participated in standards development, and even have drafted standards.
That's a very interesting question. Susan or Anne Marie, would you be able to answer that question? Looks like we're having, if your sound isn't working, maybe we can have you type the answer in the chat. Well, I'm sorry that we aren't able to hear our guest speakers, our subject matter experts today. And unfortunately, I don't have the knowledge.
Yeah, we're getting some feedback that we can't speak.
It looks like our project managers can't speak to the process. We know our process, right, but we aren't able to speak to the differences. But through the ASTM process,
it will not allow me to unmute. Same thing. Okay.
That's okay. All right, so let's go to another question. I have one here. Do all of the interest categories need to be represented for a TC to be balanced? I think we touched on this a little bit during our presentation, but we can reiterate that no, we do not have to have all the interest categories balanced. It just balance means that interest, balance only means that of the interest categories represented, not one category can represent more than 33% of the committee, meaning that if we have 3 members or if we have 10 members on the committee, we can't have more than 3 members from one specific interest category. If that happens, then we are unable to move forward until that committee is rebalanced. Let's see, what else do we have out there?
There are a few different questions about the ability to access this information from the webinar after the fact.
Great question. So we will be sending out a recording after the webinar, and we can also include a PDF of the slides with the thank you and with the recording. Where can I access the slides? Okay, we just reference that. Will be sent. Do you need to be part of the technical committee to submit proposals and provide comments? No, nope. Anyone in the world outside of the committee or within the committee can propose changes and also provide comments to those changes. So everybody's perspective is important. It all matters, which is why that we strive to make sure that everybody knows that we value everyone's participation and perspective. Do you have a website that details each stage of the standards process, including consensus? So if you go to our e-learning module on standards development process, we dig deep into that, and you can probably go right to that section. If you would like us to send you some more detailed information, we would be happy to. I believe we'll have your contact information, so we can send you links that would provide a little bit more detailed, and then also we can provide the link to that e-learning module. Let's see. Looking for other questions. Oh, here's a question. How can someone access standards that are not covered by their technical committee? So as you know, as a technical committee, you have free access to your standard that's covered by your technical committee, but we do have the free digital view feature on our standard sales site, shopulstandards.com. You can view them for free there. Is there support for international technical committee members? Absolutely, absolutely. We have an entire team that's dedicated to supporting our international members. They work with the project managers to make sure that the international team members have all the support that they need.
Who would I reach out to in order to find out more about other relevant technical committees specifically interested in battery standards, such as UL 1642?
You can start with us and we can direct you to the appropriate project manager or technical committee chair. Looks like we have your information, so we can take that down and have someone, one of the project managers, reach out to you. Alternately, if there's others on the phone who have the same question, you can send us an email at stakeholdervoice@ul.org. And we would be happy to find an appropriate committee or see what you're interested in so we can really find something that's going to fit. So joining multiple TCs is allowed, absolutely. We have some members who have 2 or 3, and we have other members who are active on many more than that. I can't state numbers, but double digits for sure. Preferred training on how to submit a proposal. You know what that is on our list. We do have a list, our wish list of training. So I'm happy to see that that's something that you're looking for too. Could you cover how the standards development process changes when you're a proposal submitter? All right, I think I might be able to answer that, but let's see if either Susan or Anne Marie can maybe type it in the chat. I know that, and Susan or Anne Marie can answer or correct me if I'm wrong, but as the proposal submitter, you need to work to respond to the comments from others, sort of like defending your proposal. So when your other technical committee members have questions, that's part of your responsibility as the proposal submitter to be able to answer those questions. New to technical community, TC community, but curious as to how to apply for a technical committee. My background is in testing and certification. Perfect. We'd love to have you, Justin. So we have a website that you can go to learn more information. If you go to our My Info, which we'll send the information out after this call, there's an application process. It's very helpful before you initiate the application process to identify the committees that you would want to work in, and you can apply to 1 or more committees. But again, if you go to the My Info site, which, can someone get the My Info? Let's see. Oh, the other site that we have on how to get involved and that provides more details around that process is learnmore.ulse.org/get involved, and we'll send that out to you. Many of those, there was a question from Brandon. Many of those that want to donate their time to work on the standards are stuck behind a paywall or left to use a slower version. Are there any plans to provide a free copy to TC members regarding their particular standards? So we do provide free copies of TC members for the standard. Are you speaking like a physical copy? So we would need more details at that, but absolutely all technical committee members do have access to the standards that their technical committee is responsible for. If you have interest in a group, but they are currently full, is there a way to get notified if an opening develops, or do you just need to check often to see if an opening occurs? So with that, if you apply to a committee and for balance reasons, or maybe there's already a member of your organization on that committee, you have the opportunity to be added as a stakeholder. So stakeholders are our official term for people who are on the committee that can do everything that a rostered member can do, but vote. So oftentimes we find that that's sufficient for some members, but if you do want to join strictly as a voting member, then our project managers do periodically review applications to fill those vacancies when they do occur. I would encourage you though to contact that project manager individually and see if they have a preferred method of notifying you if there's an opening. Okay, I think we have time for one more question here.
Oh, here's a response. It looks like from Susan.
Oh,
or someone.
looks like this is
PM
if your stakeholder trying to read an answer here. Sorry for the pause. You would also determine the direction of, oh, this is the answer to the question on how does a proposal submitter member differ from someone else. You would also determine, as a proposal submitter, you would be responsible for responding to any comments that come in related to your proposal at any stage of the standards development process, preliminary, ballot, or recirculation. You would also determine the direction of the proposal depending on the ballot or commenting results. Oh, that's interesting. So that gives a little bit more information. Not a physical copy. Okay, this is follow-up to the previous question. So you aren't asking for a physical copy, but a searchable, scrollable version rather than the view only that's available to everyone online. So currently, we do not offer that. However, I know we're always looking to update all of our tools, and I know that is something in discussion, seeing that there is a need for our members as well as the general public to be able to do a little bit more than a search and find on a PDF. So stay tuned for that. We do have talks in place. Let's see. I think that's all the questions we have. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. Really appreciate your participation. You will receive a recording of the webinar as well as a PDF of the slides. You'll have information on there. For those of you who we weren't able to answer questions or are looking for more information, we will reach out to you individually to provide as much information or materials as we can. Again, if there's any questions, concerns, please also feel, in addition to reaching out to your project manager, to reach out to the stakeholder engagement team, which is stakeholdervoice@ul.org, and we'd be happy to help you or direct you to the appropriate person to answer all of your questions. So great. Thanks, everybody. Have a